Genius Kids. Cultivating love for learning.
Lesson 1. Major developments during 18th century. Knowledge acquisition. Historians have conveniently divided world history into three periods: ancient, medieval and modern. All these stages are characterized by some distinct features like the society, economy, culture and politics. The ancient age witnessed the emergence of man as a thinking, innovative and creative being. This laid the foundations for the great civilizations such as the Greek, Harappan, Egyptian and Roman civilizations that followed. The medieval period was famous for monarchy and the subjugation of the common people, a system known as feudalism where the upper classes flourished at the expense of the masses. Major developments of the contemporary world. The medieval period in Indian history ended with the death of Aurangzeb in 1707. While India was stepping up to the threshold of the modern phase in its history, significant changes were taking place in the world. It is important to know about these global developments, especially in Europe, since India came under British subjugation during that period. Do you know? In 1817, James Mill in his book A History of British India divided Indian history into three periods: Hindu, Muslim and British. Changes in Europe. The medieval Europe witnessed a series of socio-political transformations. Change was in the air, in arts, literature, science or politics. The Crusades, the holy wars between the Christians and the Muslims, had far-reaching effects on European feudal society. The most important impact was the increase in trade that was the result of the contact between Europe and the Islamic Empire. A major outcome of this trade was the emergence of an interdependent trade network consisting of merchants, artisans, and the rising middle class. The Middle Ages, 1400 to 1500 AD, came to an end in Europe with the growth of Renaissance, a cultural movement that began in Italy. From its birthplace in Florence, it spread to the rest of Europe by the 16th century. Renaissance means rebirth. As such, it saw the rebirth of classical ideas and themes that had long lain dormant in Europe. In medieval Europe, the church restricted the freedom of thought of the individual. This kind of suppressed environment inspired many people in Europe to think for themselves and to boldly question the authority of established institutions. Head of God as created by Michelangelo. Between 1508 and 1512, he painted some of the finest images of all time. This upsurge of public sentiment to advance human knowledge was accelerated by Gutenberg's printing press, whose impact gradually eroded the church's stranglehold over literacy. While a handwritten Bible took a year to produce, a mechanical press could out Bibles at the rate of one a day. Soon, the priests and the privileged aristocracy lost their monopoly over literacy and knowledge. We know this new age as the Renaissance. This period witnessed the development of a new phase in art. Glorifying the human body while elevating art to heights never scaled before, the Renaissance artists underscored the biblical truth that God made man to rule the earth. It was implied that man was God's representative on earth, and no one had right to curtail another's rights. Some of the great artists of this period are Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Cellini, Rubens, Botticelli, Vermeer, Rembrandt and Raphael. Sea voyages. The Renaissance period also witnessed the great voyages of discovery and exploration. The inventions of the mariner's compass, improvements in cartography and the innovations in shipbuilding made long voyages safe. European merchants who were keen to revive their languishing businesses generously supported the explorers. These voyages led to the discovery of not only new routes but of new lands. Columbus discovered America in 1492, while a Portuguese sailor named Vasco da Gama discovered a new sea route to India in 1498. A new era dawned in the history of mankind when Columbus, Vasco da Gama, and others discovered new routes to the east and west. With the discovery of new trade routes and lands, Europe witnessed tremendous expansion in trade. As a result, trading companies proliferated in the 17th century. The East India Company was one such company that established trading outposts in many countries. The Reformation. Renaissance played a direct role in sparking the Reformation. The Renaissance gave a huge fillip to the level of literacy and education while emphasizing the study of the ancient classics. This helped the people to raise their voices against the corrupt practices of the Church. The movement began as an attempt to reform the Catholic Church. It began in 1517 under the leadership of Martin Luther of Germany, when he called for the debate on the sale of indulgences. He led the Reformation, which split Christianity into two branches: the Catholics who believed in the temporal and spiritual hegemony of the Pope in Rome, and the Protestants who believed in the form of Christian faith and practice that sprang from the Reformation. The sale of indulgences. Indulgences were a byproduct of the Crusades or Holy War of the 12th and 13th centuries. An indulgence was a payment to the Catholic Church that allowed one to purchase an exemption from heavenly punishment for having committed certain kinds of sins. The Industrial Revolution. In the second half of the 18th century, the labor-based economy of England switched over to machines and industrial progress. It began with the mechanization of the textile industry. Before this switchover, goods were all handmade. The merchants supplied the peasant families with raw material and collected the finished product. But the system proved unable to satisfy the growing demand for goods. Industrial Revolution led to the creation of factories and was largely responsible for industrialization. Thus, by the end of the 18th century, the rich merchants set up factories, installed machines, and started making machine-made goods. This shift from the manual system to the machine system is known as the Industrial Revolution. Further inventions, such as railways, telegraph, electricity, etc., magnified both its impact and its ability to influence the future course of world history. England was the first country to develop this system. It later spread to France, Germany, Russia, and the rest of Europe. The Industrial Revolution began in England in the mid-18th century. The textile industry was first to be mechanized. New machines like spinning jenny, power loom, and steam engines were invented. The American War of Independence. While Europe was occupied with its inner conflicts, another major event was unfolding. The 13 British colonies in North America revolted against the British rule over the issue of taxation against representation. The colonies were taxed, but they were not given representation in the British Parliament. Most of the people settled in these colonies had come from Europe, but they were deprived of rights of representation that people living in England enjoyed. The Revolutionary era began in 1763, and on 4th July 1776 the colonists adopted the Declaration of Independence. In 1789, the United States adopted a republican constitution. Thus, it started the practice of having written constitutions. The American Revolution was significant for two reasons. It compelled the British Parliament to follow liberal policies towards their colonies, and it encouraged the revolutionary forces of other British colonies to liberate themselves from the clutches of the British. Conditions of the Third Estate. They were forced to do military service. They could not hunt or fish on a noble's estates. They had to pay taxes to their lord, the king, and the church. They had to use the lord's mill, winepress, and oven and pay for such use. The French Revolution. By the end of the 18th century, another revolution took place in France. It had far-reaching effects on the world. At that time, French society comprised of three estates: the nobility, the clergy, and the commoners. Apart from the royal family, wealth was concentrated in the hands of nobles and merchants. The first and second estates lived in luxury. They did not have to pay taxes. This caused great anger within the third estate, which formed the majority of the French population. The leaders of the Third Estate declared themselves a National Assembly, and the revolutionaries rose in rebellion against the king. They stormed the Bastille, the state prison, and set the prisoners free. In August 1789, the National Assembly declared an end to the feudal system and promulgated the Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen. The mass protest of October 1789 forced the royal family to leave Versailles for Paris, never to return. But in June 1791, the royal family was caught and taken into custody. Louis XVI was later executed. Thus, the era of the French monarchy came to an end. In 1792, power shifted from the Legislative Assembly to the Paris Commune, which was made up of representatives elected from 48 neighborhood districts called sections. It paved the way for the First French Republic. Storming of the Bastille. The French prison marked the beginning of French Revolution. Do you know? French philosophers like Rousseau, Montesquieu, and Voltaire openly criticized the actions of the king, the nobility, and the clergy. New geographical categories. Rise of nationalism. After the success of these revolutions, the spirit of nationalism emerged that bound people together by a sense of shared destiny and feelings of belonging and oneness. Countries divided into many parts now began to unite themselves. This new trend in political philosophy resulted in the birth of nation-states with definite geographical boundaries, a distinct way of life, and governed by a unified code of laws. The revolutions in France and the US strengthened the idea of unity. People with a long and common history joined their hands to be the citizens of one nation. The first states to emerge in Europe as united and independent states were England and France. Germany and Italy followed suit in the 19th century. Timeline: 1000 AD, Leif Erikson, or Viking seaman, explored the east coast of North America and established a short-lived settlement there. 1492 AD, Christopher Columbus made the first of 4 voyages to the New World and landed in the Bahamas. 1497 AD, John Cabot of England explored the Atlantic coast of Canada. He claimed the area for the English king, Henry VII. 1507 AD, the name America was first used in a geography book referring to the New World with Italian navigator Amerigo Vespucci, who was often credited with the discovery of the continent. 1565 AD, the first permanent European colony in North America was established at St. Augustine, Florida, by the Spanish. 1588 AD, Great Britain replaced Spain as the dominant power in the New World, a direct outcome of the defeat of the Spanish army by the English in Europe. The birth of imperialism. The Industrial Revolution in Europe created the demand of cheap raw materials and new markets for finished goods. The spirit of nationalism supported the creation of nation-states. These nations began to take control of the other non-industrialized nations and colonies. After discovering new countries and sea routes to these places, the Europeans started exploiting the rich natural resources of these colonies, making them economically backwards, socially stagnant, and politically weak. The weak countries of Asia and Africa were prime targets for the daring European adventurers, and this was where they came to trade and to establish their colonies. This expansion gave birth to imperialism, a term that means the forceful extension of a nation's dominance by establishing economic and political rule over other nations. By the middle of the 18th century, the East India Company became the most dominant group among the European traders in Asia, with India as their most important base. Thus began the colonial imperialist conquest of Asia. In the 19th century, there was unprecedented industrial growth in Europe. By the end of the 19th century, most parts of Asia and Africa came under the control of European imperialism, direct or indirect. The Communist Manifesto. In 1848, Karl Marx, along with Friedrich Engels, laid the foundation of socialism. Their book, The Communist Manifesto, states, "The history of all hitherto existing society is the history of class struggles." The book famously declared that the working class would be the grave digger of the capitalist class. Socialism. In the middle 19th century, two philosophers named Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels co-authored the book entitled The Communist Manifesto, which was published in 1848. In the book, they wrote that capitalism should be replaced by a new system of social organization in which property and the distribution of income were subject to social control rather than individual determination or market forces. They argued that since the workers alone could transform raw materials into the final product with the help of machines, they should have a say in both production as well as profits. This revolutionary concept challenged the very basis of capitalism. By the end of the 19th century, socialism had become popular throughout Europe. The Socialistic Revolution in Russia. After the European and American revolutions, the Russian Revolution of 1917 had decisive impact upon the modern world. This revolution led to the overthrow of the autocratic rule of the Tsars, resulting in the fall of Tsar Nicholas II and the elimination of the entire Romanov dynasty. This was followed by the establishment of the Soviet Union in 1922. The USSR, the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, lasted till 1991. Colonization of Asian countries. British possession in Asia. India. After the discovery of sea route to India by Vasco da Gama in 1498, the Portuguese established their base in Goa. By the early 17th century, the Dutch replaced the Portuguese as the dominant power in Asia. In 1600 AD, the merchants and traders of London established the East India Company. At first, it set up its factories at Surat. Gradually, the British spread their political power in India. By 1765, they had become a major political power in Bengal, Bihar and Odisha. This was the beginning of British imperialism in India. Taking advantage of the disunity among the India rulers, they conquered one territory after another. With the conquest of Punjab in 1849, the whole of India became a part of the British Empire. British possessions in Asia outside India included Burma, today's Myanmar, 1824 and 1885, Sri Lanka, 1814, Malaya, Hong Kong and Kowloon, 1842 to 1845, Tibet, 1904, Palestine. and Mesopotamia, British Mandate after World War I. China and the Opium Wars. Conflict between Britain and China arose in 1839. At this time, the Chinese port officials prevented the British from distributing opium to Chinese port workers. Britain got agitated by the refusal of the Chinese emperor to grant them the right of free trade. The emperor was against the opium being smuggled into China. Thus, a huge consignment of opium in a British warehouse in Canton was destroyed in 1839. This provoked the British to declare war against China. This came to be known as the First Opium War. To stop the illegal opium smuggling by the British, the Chinese emperor ordered to destroy the huge consignment of opium. After the British victory, a treaty called the Treaty of Nanking was signed in 1842. Under this treaty, the British got possession of Hong Kong on a 99-year lease. The British were also allowed to open 5 ports, including Canton, to trade with China. In 1997, Hong Kong was finally reverted to China. In 1843, the British got the Most Favoured Nation status under the Treaty of the Bogue. It also was granted the right of extraterritoriality, which meant exemption from arrest, prosecution, any kind of search or seizure of British nationals. Soon, other colonial powers like the United States, Belgium, France, Norway, Sweden and Portugal also sought similar concessions from the Chinese and signed their own treaties. All this led to violent anti-foreigner protests. Owing to the small incidents, a minor insult to the British flag and the murder of a French missionary, Britain and France declared war on China. The Second Opium War, 1856–60, led to the signing of the Treaty of Tientsin, 1858. The Chinese later refused to ratify this treaty. This led to the Anglo-French War against China. Beijing, Peking, was occupied as a consequence of this war. By the end of the 19th century, the British had occupied a large chunk of Chinese territory including Hong Kong and a part of Kowloon. 2. Portuguese possession in Asia. A Portuguese adventurer named Vasco da Gama sailed around the Cape of Good Hope, the southern tip of Africa, and reached Calicut in 1498 AD, thus opening the sea route between Europe and India. The Portuguese started trading with India and the Spice Islands in Far East Asia. They established colonies at Goa, Daman and Diu in India and the Timor and Macau Islands in the Far East. They also tried to occupy Sri Lanka but were driven out by the Dutch, who were already established. French troops landed in Vietnam in 1860s and by 1885, Vietnam had come under French control. 3. The Dutch possessions in Asia. The Dutch also established a trading company to trade with India and the Spice Islands in the Far East. They occupied Bantam from the Portuguese and established a trade center there. Next, they occupied Amboina and Jakarta. In this way, they became the masters of Java, Sumatra and Borneo. In 1641 AD, they occupied Malacca and in 1658 captured Sri Lanka from the Portuguese. But after the defeat of the Dutch in the Napoleonic Wars in Europe, Sri Lanka passed into the hands of the British. 4. French colonies in Asia. In 1664, the French East India Company was established. In India, the French established trade centers at Puducherry and Chandranagar. In 1721, they occupied the island of Mauritius in the Indian Ocean. Similarly, they also established the colony of Mahé. Under Napoleon III, the French followed an aggressive policy. In 1860, they landed troops in Vietnam under the pretext of protecting Christians of Indochina and occupied it. By 1885, the whole of Vietnam had come under French control. The French also established trade centers in Cambodia and Cochin China in the Far East. Besides, France also got Quang Chau province from China on a lease of 99 years. The France had also established their own East India Company. They came in conflict with the English and fought many wars. Ultimately, they were defeated by the English and remained confined to Puducherry. 5. German possessions in Asia. Germany also established colonies in Asia. It occupied the northeast regions of New Guinea. It also got Kiao Chau province from China on lease and trading concessions in Shantung. In the Pacific, the Germans occupied the Caroline and Marshall Islands. 6. Russian possessions in Asia. After their defeat in the Crimean War, the Russian rulers started occupying Central Asiatic countries. Between 1864 and 1868 AD, they occupied Kokand, Bokhara, Khiva, Tashkent, Turkestan, Samarkand, etc. Russia also received from China the island of Liutong on a lease of 25 years. Introduction to sources. Period under study has a large bulk of sources. Archaeological sources are comparatively less important for this period. Literary sources are of great importance to study this period. Literary sources. The literary sources for the period consist of original documents like government reports, administrative records, official records of the British, surveys, and so on. All these records have been carefully preserved in archives and museums. Official records. The Mughals introduced the culture of recording everything. This was furthered and perfected by the British. Official records of the British administration are very important. Source. As the British believed that every instruction, plan, policy, decision, agreement, and investigation had to be clearly written. Every administrative decision was recorded and carefully preserved. Every executive, legislative, and judicial body had record rooms in which even the smallest records were kept, well catalogued. Thus, the proceedings of each government department is available to us. This has helped historians immensely in their study of the period. Many of the official records of this period are now preserved in the National Archives of India. Survey reports. This British also began the practice of conducting surveys because they believed that surveys would enable them to effectively administer the country and know the people better. Population surveys, revenue surveys, land surveys, and many other types of surveys were conducted. Mapping was an important part of these surveys. The British made a large number of topographic maps. Census operations also began. All these reports are available to us. Indigenous records, diaries, accounts of pilgrims and travelers, newspapers, books, novels, and leaflets reflect the feelings of the Indians under British rule. People wrote in English and in the regional language. Dadabhai Naoroji wrote Poverty and Un-British Rule in India to highlight the exploitative nature of the British rule. Newspapers such as Kesari in Marathi and Maharatha in English also made people aware of the real intentions of the British. When the national movement was at its peak, the British tried to suppress the press. However, they failed. We will study the history of the last 250 to 300 years in the subsequent chapters regarded as the modern period. The modern period in India is associated with the establishment of British colonial rule and our fight against it. We will study the socio-cultural changes that came about in India under the influence of the British. We will read about the rise of nationalism in India, which ultimately led to freedom of India. We will also see the developments that have taken place since then, how they have affected our progress. Keywords: Renaissance, the period of revival of art and culture. Imperialism, a policy of extending a country's power and influence through colonization, use of military force or other means. Colonization, the practice by which a powerful country controls other less powerful countries. Capitalism, a system in which business and industries are run for profit by private owners rather than by the government. Archives, a collection of historic documents or records providing information about a place, institution, or group of people. Let's revise. Continuous review. The Renaissance was a cultural movement which inspired the people of Europe to challenge the old established systems. The Reformation was a revolt against the corrupt practices of the Roman Catholic Church and its unwarranted dominance. The 18th century witnessed the American and French Revolution in the world. Nationalism was a spirit that emerged when a homogeneous population living in a common territory and sharing a common history and culture began to consider itself as a single, united entity. Imperialism refers to the forceful establishment of control over weaker states' nations by means of coercive colonization. In India, the Mughal Empire declined and the British established the East India Company. Many types of literary sources are available for the study of the modern India.
Like, share and subscribe.